alligator's jaws, approximately showing 80 teeth. 40 teeth on top, 40 on the bottom. Now at back of the throat, you can see there's very little to no throat opening. That's actually called the glottis. It's a little flap of skin that allows... Now, grabbing the alligator by his jaws, he has to be careful because the alligator can do two things, either go into a shake or into a death roll. It is capable of holding the alligator's jaws closed with just one hand. But the only problem, like I said, if he goes into a shake or a death roll, you're going to break that grip that you have on the jaws of the alligator, and then he could possibly whip around fast enough to grab a hold of your hand. Now, the alligator's jaws work just like a rat trap. If you were to do anything by putting anything in the alligator's mouth and he does not touch the jaws, the alligator will not bite down. But as soon as he is to touch the jaws, the alligator will actually trigger to close its mouth. I think he's going to go ahead and show that to you guys right now. Have your cameras ready. If nothing touches it, the alligator's not going to bite, but he touched it on the way out.
You made me do the turtle first.
Scott, what were you doing there?
Counting.
You can't count. Don't do that.
Can you do that again?
You're going to tell everybody you have 7 fingers on one hand. Now we're going to capture an alligator roughly about the same size as themselves, to capture them by themselves and bring them home for the family to eat. Now they realized by killing the alligator and traveling through the Florida heat, by the time they got back, they put this technique to keep the alligator alive and then use it when it was necessary back at the village. Now they say this is the most safest place to be while handling an alligator. Scott, do you feel safe? Not very safe. I feel pretty safe, but you guys look the safest sitting out there behind the fence. Now, grabbing a hold of the alligator's jaws, the capture is done with them, but now we got a few stunts and tricks that made alligator wrestling famous. Now, the first one that Scott's going to do is probably one of the most famous stunts done in alligator wrestling. This is called the Florida Smile. Now, last time Scott did this stunt, he was actually put in the hospital for about 3 days. So if you have cameras, and if you see blood at all, do not worry, it is not the alligator's blood, it will be Scott's. And then at that point, don't try to jump the fence and be a superhero, just take a lot of pictures. Because we're going to send it back to Scott, and we're going to show him to never do this trick again. Now this is going to happen on the count of 3. Now what Richard has is called a medicine stick. In case anything goes wrong, we're going to hit Scott with that as hard as we can, knocking him out, and then we'll go ahead and get the alligator off of him. No, we're not going to hit the alligator, we're going to hit you. And if Richard hits you hard enough, you might even forget that you even got bit.
Just don't turn around.
So just make sure you swing hard.
I don't want to knock your teeth out. Don't turn around.
So this is going to happen on the count of 3, guys. 1. I forgot to ask you, Scott, are you ready?
Yes, I have to be.
He said yes, but everybody didn't hear. All right, on the count of 3, guys. 1, 2, 3.
You think they got it?
I think they got it. Florida Smile, guys. We're in Florida. You guys got it. Best time to take your photos now.